We'll open the City Finance Committee Subcommittee of
See, I sent you guys.
November 14th, 2012.
I gave you the minutes.
Yes.
I sent them, but I gave them.
I read them. Yes, and you have the hard copy.
Sorry, I was late.
Minutes of prior meeting, 10/24/12.
Move we approve.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. There's communication. I don't see any. Public speak. No one is here. No new business. Continuing business. Again, just if we go a little out of order, D, we're not going to speak of to tonight. That's the senior exemption. We're just going to keep that on the agenda, as we said, possibly till a little later in the year.
Well, one of the things that was going to impact to me
Was the override.
It's gone, so I don't feel like we should. Frankly, I think I'd be willing to remove it off the agenda since the override.
I guess I will keep it one more and get a hold of, since it was Councilor Cobb's request, see if he feels he wants to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then, just if I could go to C before we get into the two items that are left. I know last time there was a little question on the on the Lauren APR, which was approved by us. I did bring the stuff from Community Preservation, which does detail that it is part of the Community Preservation Act, Joe, and what it used to be, because of the economy, that it used to be when we did these agricultural, it was a 20% city match, but because of the economy, the state reduced it to 5%. So that's why we thought it, at least I thought, and the committee, CPA committee agreed with us, is that it was kind of a bargain for $10,000 of 5% match to get this over 60 acres of land, much of which is going to be out of.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that the match now on an agricultural restriction has been reduced from 20% to 5%. So the city only has to match 5% of the total cost. So the total cost to the Laurens that they'll be getting is, from the state, the total project is $205,000. But our contribution only has to be $10,250. Where in the past it would have been almost $41,000. I think that was the CPA's feeling, that it was a bargain to get it off the.
So are we putting in, with the CPA appropriation, we're putting in more than the 5%, or is that?
That is the 5%. That is the 10,000. We're not. That is the 5%. The 10,000. 10,250. So I just wanted to clarify that because I didn't have it last time.
When did they change that law? Used to be 10%.
Used to be 20%.
Wow. Why they changed it?
I got this from the planning board, sent it to me on December 19th, but obviously it had been changed. It just says the state requires a local contribution. Due to the economic downturn, the local match requirements have been reduced. So it doesn't say exactly when they did it.
It might go back. The economy goes back.
Right, it might go back to 20.
Might be one of those things. Sometimes they vote things down for a period and then they renew them.
Right.
You know?
Okay, the other two
I
items.
approved that.
We already approved that.
So
That's done. And I already requested a public hearing, so we'll deal with that on next Tuesday.
I don't think we should have any efficient lighting. We should spend a lot of money. Why is this even on?
Well, I have some communication.
I know the mayor, and why we kind of put it off and didn't vote, the mayor had said that he might be able, he was still talking and might have some upgraded information. Maybe that's what Melissa has. Or?
It is what I have.
Okay.
So he sent a memo to you, and I don't know if it's in your box or if you don't have it yet, but I can go make photocopies. But basically, he wants to remove the request for $48,000 because the credit, like he was doing it on estimates, and then they found some other money to close out last year's, I believe, and to spend some money from last year and this year, and there will be no expenditure for the school side, and he's reducing greatly the $8,000 down to $345,000. Oh, no.
That doesn't reduce it there.
$3,455, and the breakout is I have the breakout. So like the.
Why does he want? Why are we not doing this now?
We got more credits than anticipated. We got more credits from the.
So we don't need as much. What do you call matching funds?
Well, we're doing. It's not matching funds. It's a lighting program. put on by this T&T Energy and the electric bill. It's a loan on the electric bill, but the costs have gone down for some of the projects, and the utility incentives have gone up, requiring us to basically, we're getting this stuff for free in the school department and almost free.
34.55.
So this lighting improvement is now totally funded?
Well, no, we need,
For the schools.
right, and we need $3,455 for the enterprise.
Highway and water and,
Yeah.
did you say
So
you had a?
DPW, what was it, 3,000?
454.
455. Did you have a breakdown just?
I
'cause
do, I do. It's gonna be from retained, for the highway expense, well, from free cash, it's gonna be 1536,
Okay.
and from retained earnings, it's gonna be 1919.
Okay,
And from highway, for highway expenditures, it's gonna be the 1536, obviously. For the wastewater treatment plant, it's gonna be 1714, and for the water energy expense, it's gonna be 205.
So, I think, just for the sake of doing it correctly, we gotta reread that.
at the
We have
next,
to go first reading again.
Right.
Redo it.
and then
We won't have to talk about it much, but then you have to send it back to committee, because you can't change all the figures without having a first.
No,
reading.
right.
I don't think they care, but I think that's.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
the
think
proper way to do it.
It's the way to do
You
it.
can't reduce it? You've not reduced it before?
Well, I guess we
That's,
could.
I mean, I guess,
It's a reduction, not an increase, that's true.
And I guess none of the sources have changed.
no, it's
Not
coming,
changing from a different source.
it's really just a lower request, and it's coming from the same earning.
I think, you know, maybe you're right, since we're lowering it.
And
you
he
know,
did do a memo to the council.
Okay, like he did with the school taking it off, so I suppose,
Yeah.
I'll check with Barbara.
Did you schedule a public hearing?
I scheduled
Because
a
I
public,
left a.
yeah, I
we
scheduled a
did.
public hearing on both of these.
Well, I don't think, if we're reducing it, if we were increasing it, then I think you'd have to do it.
Or if I think we're changing funding sources or something.
Right, coming from a new
Because then it is
account.
substantially.
Well, and the other thing is, nobody's gonna complain about spending less
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Right, and he wants to completely remove the.
This one, he wants to just take it off the table without prejudice,
Right.
because he doesn't need the fund. Now, is that, obviously, the most of it is coming from utilities, and then he found some money from
No,
the school? It's all coming from
It's all coming from
this utility
incentive.
consortium or whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He gave, you can have.
So there's gonna be no problem. I'll open the public hearing like I did last time, in case anyone wants to comment, then I'll just remove it without prejudice like we did
Yeah.
on the,
Yeah, that's fine.
on
And
the
then
school.
I have no problem moving to approve 3455
Right, and I wrote them down. I
for the
couldn't-
energy efficient DPW facilities. I mean, why not?
Okay,
That was a motion.
Then I'll second.
okay,
Well, you have to vote.
I know. So there's a motion on the table to request the amount of 3455, and I could skip the
Finance
amounts,
meeting
but
history.
it is coming from free cash, retained earnings to highway, energy, wastewater treatment expense and water treatment in the figures that was given by the finance director, which will be brought to the public when we bring it up. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then on the request from the mayor to remove the appropriation, I don't think anyone wants to appropriate $48,000 that the mayor doesn't want.
Well, maybe it goes in my bank account.
I guess we would,
It's on the minutes and it's recorded.
we should have a motion that,
I will make a motion to remove the appropriations, supplemental appropriation for $8,642
second.
without prejudice or whatever.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll have public hearings on both those and the Lauren property. I don't believe there's any other business unless either of the esteemed councilors.
15 minutes. Is there a Guinness Book of World Records?
Do something that he's...
She has something.
I
Okay.
do. Well, the only thing I want to say is if you look at this, I mean, I said they're free the first year because it's a 7,
Oh, there's one
but there's no,
right there.
well, no, it's only a 7-month payback. So, but you can see the cost of them and then the incentives and
Okay.
so there's actually credit for the school department that they'll receive. Should have extra money in their energy light bill. Because this was to go to their light bill because it
Right.
kind of offsets, and we have a small expenditure, which is.
Now they're replacing all of the all the
Well,
bulbs they
these
can.
lights here are different, it's the same kind of,
Different CFLs, maybe some LEDs in some places.
I don't know that, yeah, but I know that it's
Details.
like, yeah, I know it's lights like these, like we've done here already.
Will it be
Oh,
the
and some
shut-offs
of the
and all that
buildings
too?
haven't been done yet.
All right.
Will it be the shut-offs too?
So this, like it says, it's like these are the buildings that are being done.
Right.
And so the appropriation that were before you were for the school and the DPW buildings. And so the school essentially, their credits are paying for their installs this year, and then DPW is going to have a small cost.
No, it's excellent.
And isn't the small cost 5,919?
It says 5,919 on the bottom line on the right.
So why are you only asking for 34,555?
Because I guess that's all he needs in the,
It has a little left over or something.
yeah.
He only needs that much to cover
The 34,
what he
50.
needs. He needs 3455 to cover, to make the 59, I guess.
Now, you said this will cover it the first year, the second year, there's no guarantee that we
Well,
might
this
have
is it says, the DPW amended request is basically a 7-month payback on the bill, so it's a 1-year process.
So hopefully it should be.
So it will, 7 months, is that gonna, no, it may cross fiscal years, but you would just appropriate enough.
The utility is charging us to fund it over 7 months.
Good.
And we have to put the money into the account so we can pay for it.
Right, it's an interest-free, but it's an installment payment.
And that's how they do it.
But it sounds like it added a substantial savings.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be energy, light
Once these are-
savings in the bill
No,
itself.
but even installation, I mean, it sounds like,
Yeah, the estimates on them, well, all of this is, part of an, energy saving plan is going through in 2 phases. The light stuff he did first because the utilities are offering such good credit. Stuff like windows and other things will be later. I know that we did an audit of those things, feels like almost a year ago now, maybe 9 months, and this is, part of the outcome of that. Things that we're doing to save on, just like you would in your home. Change your light bulbs, get more
Well, I got all
windows.
these, I had an energy audit, I got all these new CFLs for free. And my wife, the funny thing is she hated them until these people came in and said, you need to do this. Oh, we'll do
Now
it.
suddenly,
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I said we should do it. There was no,
the only real difference I see in them is, it's sometimes,
they don't dim real nice.
yeah, it's tough on a
They flicker
dimmer, and
off.
it takes
Well,
it takes a couple of minutes for it to come up to full, like when you first turn on.
It's
something.
actually only about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it just seems that, because you're used to that instantaneous,
It's not very bright,
you're used to that
but it's there.
instantaneous, but it comes up.
But it's much brighter. What's this?
oh, this is tax.
What is this for?
Recount.
Okay.
Well, wait, do I need both of these?
No, I just,
Felt you needed to.
that's all the news we have.
Okay, you study this tonight when you go home,
Yeah.
Yes, I'll
when
study
you
it.
get out of work, when you get out of work tonight.
Well, I'm gonna go to work until 8 o'clock. What am I gonna do?
If you wanna,
Is this, can you give us a preview? I know you said there's some not good news here. Can you point out where it is?
In the recap?
The tax rate is 14.51,
And what was it before?
13.27.
But that's because of the high school. right?
It's because of a lot of things, but yeah, the high school's in there, and some other older overrides are in there also, and
So when a point, what did it do?
plus the 2.5.
Yeah, about 1.25.
Is that basically $1 per thousand? How
no,
do you
it's more
figure?
than that. It's
You said $1 on the school thing, it was like $1 on the average house rate, it's like
right,
is
but
it?
it went up from 3.27 to 14.51, so that's
$1.40.
$1.24.
Okay. Per thousand on new taxes.
but is the schools, as I recall, was 80 odd cents of that.
Well, yeah, it would have
The
been,
new
we
school.
would have been up another 80 cents. It would have been
I mean,
$2.
no, I think it's, the high school's gonna put an extra 80 cents on it this year, right? I mean,
No, that $1.24 includes
in
the
there.
high school.
yes, that's what I said, but like 80 some odd cents of it is because of the new high school.
Now, I
But the
think,
$1.24 is everything. It's not just,
Right, it's everything.
it's the high school, 2.5, anything else we got.
but I thought you told me we had significant devaluations in property.
Well, if you look at the valuation and you look at last year's, you'll
Where's
see
the
that
what page is that?
page 1.
The LA5 that we just signed.
And you look at last year's valuations, it went down. I don't remember exactly what it is.
Where is last year's plan?
But you'd have to look at last year's recap.
Okay.
Was it, of course, some of that might have been the result of these,
It is the result of those abatements.
those abatements, because, I mean, I'm sure we were getting more revenue
So-
from those 3 items that we're talking
We're
about.
allowed to keep, so we have to raise the rate. If the valuations go down, we have to raise the rate to maintain the tax.
Right, because your rate goes up 2.5% on taxes collected over the prior year. So
It's really relative.
yeah. If your house doubles in value, then
You're gonna
your
pay more
tax rate
taxes.
goes way down, but you're
You're
still
still
paying
gonna pay
more.
taxes because you're
more
still paying.
taxes.
It's about the same thing. Your taxes are gonna go up 2.5% plus the high school, no matter what you do. Whether your house is worth 200,000 or 300,000.
Right. And the value goes down, the rate goes up. If the value goes up,
People
the
don't
rate goes
understand.
down.
Everybody asks me, how come I'm paying more taxes if
The rate.
my house doesn't cost as much? Because we have a different rate.
Yeah,
You
so-
pay the same taxes, if we didn't increase taxes every year, you'd pay the same amount of money every year, regardless of the value of it. That's the way to look at it, right?
Well, I'll put this on the agenda for our next meeting, 'cause,
We don't need another meeting.
well, that's what I did want, the last piece of business before we, there is another Wednesday, the 28th. But I believe when we get these 3, unless there's new appropriations from the mayor between now and Tuesday, I think the agenda
Has he
except
spent all
for...
the free cash?
I don't believe so.
So we'll probably have free cash then.
I think
Right.
he's gonna start coming with the capital budget,
So we're gonna do that.
which is not.
But we'll see what we
it's
get.
It was due last week, so I haven't seen all the records yet.
We'll see what we get between now and Tuesday, and then we'll decide whether we want that meeting in the second meeting. If we need it, we'll do it. If not, we'll do it the second week in December.
Well, because of those abatements, we don't have as much free cash to play with for capital expenses.
Well, we usually put 250 in stabilization, now we're
Stabilization,
not.
right.
But luckily, we had the free cash to pay for it. Or we'd be pulling it out of stabilization.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had what, almost we had like 900,000.
We have over $1 million in stabilization now.
No,
No,
free cash.
cash.
This year? Really, that much? Oh, that's including retained earnings too, right? That's just free cash on the city side?
Yeah, it was 890 something.
And what did retained earnings get? They got some too.
I didn't really look at that.
That's pretty good considering the economy, oh my God. That's great.
Okay, up to
We should
entertain-
pave some roads, so Don's happy.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'm shocked. So worried I leave you guys in the lurch.